Here's a quick question for you. So if I give you a piece of meat now and I tell you that this lovely piece of meat, suya, chicken, whatever meat it is, if I tell you this lovely piece of meat was actually grown in a laboratory, would you eat it? Or will the very thought of eating meat grown in a laboratory make you want to throw up? Well, a team of scientists from Japan have been able to devise a means to grow a chunk of meat big enough, about 11 grams of meat. And they're saying that between 5 to 10 years, we might be in a place where we'll be able to grow meat in a laboratory and eat the meat. I know that very thought would scare some people because you'll be wondering, what exactly do they mean by growing meat in the laboratory? And basically what happens is they take a cell, tiny cell or some cells from specific areas of an animal. So for instance, a chicken breast, you just take some tiny cells from there and then they provide those cells nutrients, just a bit like mimicking the circulatory system, right? So what happens in our system is the blood circulates all around our body and the cells are being fed constantly with nutrients and oxygen, and that keeps them alive. So what happens is they are able to take tiny cells, feed them with sufficient oxygen and nutrients, and then the cells are grown with time. So it's the same chicken or the same beef or whatever you end up eating. And they are so excited about this development that they believe that with time, they would be able to grow bigger sizes, bigger chunks, and not just grow bigger chunks. They are considering the possibility of growing organs. So for several reasons, it would be a good idea if we get to a point where we no longer need to slaughter animals to eat meat, where we eat actual real meat that feels like real meat without having to get animals to lay down their lives. And that's why it's a bit exciting to me. But the big question, however, is how many people will be willing to eat meat if they know that this meat was actually grown in a laboratory? And that's the question I would like you to help me answer. So I'd like you to leave a comment in the comment section. What do you think? Would you eat meat grown in a lab? The very thought of it, right, makes you want to think, nah, if it's not. But like I said, this is going to be actual meat because it's a tiny chunk of meat taken and made to grow to a big size of meat.